All right, here we are in Module 11. It's been an interesting week. It seems as though family work and just general procrastination has finally caught up with me. I wasn't able to get in my controversial debate draft like I wanted to. I actually started looking at it tonight and realized that I hadn't even started it. So I won't be doing that. But everything else this week was fun and interesting. I think the most frustrating part was trying to get those wires I don't solder. So I'll show you what I did with my animatronics hack, and hopefully I'll be able to get some soldering or get a friend that I have to solder some parts for me so that it's not so difficult to keep the wires in place. Before I get to that too much, though, I want to go over a couple of other things. The Digital Nation, the video, was interesting. As I stated in my first post, it was with the I don't want to do that, distractions by everything, the multitasking. Probably took me about 2 minutes. I was opening up on a couple of these other tabs, just listening. They started talking about multitasking, and I'm like, that's exactly what I'm doing. And probably isn't the greatest thing is my wife, as I mentioned in that post, she knows that while I'm reading or doing anything else, she can't really talk to me at all. So I'm not the greatest multitasker around. It was really interesting. 5 chapters. What's going on in Korea. You see it happening more and more here in the United States. I have a couple of friends that have done those gaming marathons where they've played for, I don't know, about 50 hours, but 24 hours, World of Warcraft type of stuff, trying to get as far as they can in that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I loved reading everyone's posts on higher education. It seemed like everyone kind of agreed, just with the super high cost of education and everything going on there. For a lot of people, it just doesn't make sense anymore to spend all that money if they have a plan, if they have a career that doesn't that really doesn't depend on that education. It just costs so much that it's not always necessary. So as long as you have a plan, though, I feel like education is important. As long as you know where you're going, you're not just kind of blindly going around everywhere and doing things. Let me see here. Like I said, I thought all of this was done. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this, the dumbest generation. That's why I kept this tab up. The last paragraph, or not the last couple minutes of the video, it talked about how people gave up something. We as a human race gave up something when we went to a writing, when we had a written script, a written word, instead of just memorization. And that's exactly what we lost. We lost that memorization where people used to be able to recite scores and scores of music and poems and stuff straight from memory. You don't see that very often anymore because you're able to just go and write it. And that probably even is going away even more with that instant knowledge. If I ever have a question, I don't need to remember it. I'll just be able to take out my phone and ask Google what's going on and be able to think and be able to know what's going on there. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of the trade-offs we have with the new technology and internet and everything going on with that. With my animatronics hack, this is my Tigger. I showed you a couple weeks ago what I was doing. I wish I could zoom in there. It would show I have the wires kind of touching the fork. It had a smaller fork than what's written in the book, and so I couldn't get the wires to stay. I don't solder. I tried to use electrical tape, but it didn't hold it on for very well. So I could get them to stay as long as I didn't touch it or put my Tigger back together. But a quick video, I'll show you all the wiring. There's this, and here. Let me turn the volume up here. And so you could hear it. It started it bouncing. It's all this kid. So I got it to make it go off about, I don't know how often it was going off, about every 10 seconds, 20 seconds or so. And so that was a lot of fun too, doing that. It'll be interesting to see what more I can do with that. for maybe trying to do that for my final project. It might be interesting. But other than that, we'll see what else is going to happen next week. I'm excited, and we'll take a look at that then.